Hey Jules Bless Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel, and for those who are new, I know you can benefit. So it was a pretty nice day here in the high desert, like mid-60s, really pleasant. I actually justified a sweater, but the wind is insane, and it is still coming off those snowy mountains, and oh my goodness. That kind of wind where even when you're a full-size adult, I'll put it that way, it still knocks you on your butt. Like kids were literally falling. Teachers were holding on to poles. I mean, it was kind of a Mary Poppins moment. But anyway, I'm happy to check in with you guys. I'm in my car because I know when I get home, I'm going to hit the ground running. I have a lot of things I need to get done, but I always want to check in with my Jules Bless Vegan community and see how you guys are doing and what I can do to support you. So I did want to share, we're continuing with Teacher Appreciation Week, and today was an ice cream, extravaganza, if you will. They had a bunch of ice creams, a bunch of toppings, and, when you went up to the teacher's lounge for lunch, that was the thing. Everybody was participating in that. So what was really sweet, even though I have totally told them, please don't be concerned about my food. And I mean it, right? Because I'm trying to pre-write my food and be accountable. I'm using my urge jar. But they still, of course, want to include everybody. And I appreciate that because, technically I'm not coming back. But they're all being lovely. And so she said, oh, don't worry about it. I got you some lactose-free ice cream. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so kind. It still has animal products. And she's like, wait, what? It said lactose-free. I said, yeah, I know, but it's still made from a cow, and I'm going to decline. So she was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. And then someone else chimed in, and they were like, well, could you have had soy? And I was like, yeah. They were all being so kind. I wasn't going to go into a litany about how soy doesn't work for me and how, it still has its own toxins and it can be hard on women's breasts. Like all this stuff was coming to me, and I was like, yeah, soy would have been better over lactose-free. I said, but don't worry about it. The reason I'm even going to the teacher's lounge is not just to be social, but because they have a bunch of fantastic prizes on this table, and you have to show up each day to get another ticket to win things. And God is so good. I'm just planning on winning. So then somebody else was like, well, what can you eat? Can you eat anything? Like you didn't even eat yesterday. Couldn't you have had beans? Because, they had beans. And I said, I can choose to eat all of a sudden T-Raw, who I refer to as T-Rex at this point. She's just like, she just devours all knowledge and says, don't mess with me. Tanny Raw, and as always, if you haven't heard of her, please look her up on any social media platform. T-Raw starts coming out of my mouth. I start saying, I can eat anything I want. I choose to eat plants. I mean, like all these Tanny Rawisms were just spewing out of my mouth. It was so funny. And I thought, that is fantastic because anybody who wants to be a real student of something has to just totally take it in, just drown yourself in hundreds of hours, thousands of hours. And that's what I've done with Tanny Raw, and it is becoming my truth. So that was such a kick. And I was like, I can have anything I want. I choose to eat plants and like all these questions. I could have had those beans, but those had animal product in them. And, I explained how that's whole food plant-based and, not raw vegan. But, I didn't want to go into a litany. They were just enjoying their ice cream, but some people genuinely wanted to know. And so I was stoked. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show up tomorrow. And then the girl was like, well, tomorrow we're having a treat bar. Like everything is sweets. And I said, well, do me a favor. Do not get me anything. It would kill me if they got me like sugar-free something. Oh my gosh. First of all, of course, sugar-free is not vegan, right? Because even sugar-free milk chocolate has animal products in it. But also it hurts. Oh my gosh. I made that mistake, like a couple years ago when I was first even changing anything. My husband decided to buy me a bunch of sugar-free chocolate, this and that. And of course, I went for broke like I always do. I thought I had to be hospitalized. I'm not kidding you. The aches and pain and insanity in my stomach. Wow, I knew I had poisoned myself. I have never made that mistake again. To be fair, I chose real sugar. I will never, ever knowledgeably, no, like actually choosing to consciously have a sugar-free product. Oh my gosh, no. Whatever the nonsense is that they use to justify that, it hurts. It hurts so bad. I will not forget that pain. That's like labor, man. It's like childbirth. It's got to be. It was so insane. All right, so no to sugar-free. And so the girl said, well, I probably only have a Granny Smith apple. And I was like, that'd be great. Seriously. I'm still trying to find my way with my urge jar. And basically, I totally understand pre-writing everything so that my primal brain isn't disappointed when it doesn't get what it wants, even though it might fit through anyway. But so we have a sense of what we're going to be eating, right? And it does break down my temptations for sure. But there's two things I'm willing to do. One, I'm willing to not eat everything I wrote down. If my day goes in a different direction and I realize I just didn't need as much food as I thought, I will choose not to eat that. And then the other one is that I may allow myself something that isn't on my list. I know that's a slippery slope, but what I choose to allow would again be something like I didn't have enough calories that day, so I added, an extra piece of fruit. Or in tomorrow's situation, I wrote down my food this morning. It may be evening and I may choose to write a Granny Smith apple. I may not, because I don't even know if I'm going to eat it. I may actually just smile and take it and go back to my room. But I will allow myself little things like that. Certainly an extra piece of fruit. I think where I can't compromise at all is on food that I know I have trouble with and was not my intention. So like if I make a salad and I'm going to just have balsamic vinegar, right? And then I change it to salsa, I might be tricking myself a little bit right there. If I decide to suddenly add nuts or raisins, I'm up to no good. So I just remind myself that I can eat again tomorrow. And then I promise myself that I'm going to write it down. Like I'm having salad tonight and I was thinking I would have loved corn. I forgot that I had purchased corn on the cob, which I happily eat raw and had no idea how delicious it could be. And I didn't write it down. And so I'm like, don't panic. You can have that tomorrow. So I'm kind of getting an idea of when I need a meal a day or two out, where I'm like, calm down. 2 days from now, we're going to make that your meal. And I think it's going to work. So, you know what? It's a learning curve. I'm just trying to find my way. But it was a kick to have Miss Raw coming out of my mouth, all these isms, having the staff inquire, which is so refreshing. And, just making good choices. Mostly I just wanted to check in. So cheers to you guys. Please let me support you in the comments, please. And for people who don't want to share that, you could always find me on Instagram under Jules Plus Vegan. And you can push on a button and talk your truth. I do that all the time. There's certain people I get on there and say, yo, what's up? It's Jules. You can certainly do that, and I would love to write you back. Otherwise, in terms of writing, I have Jules Blessed Vegan on Gmail. I have Jules Blessed Vegan at Yahoo. You can find me and send a personal. Just message me, and I'll support you personally, But I'm hoping that this is a no-shame channel where you can just share your truth here and get support. All right, my friends, peace be with you. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. And until we talk again, be blessed.